Screen's tilted a little towards you. There we go. You can see the top of your head.
Okay, Sarayim Tov. Today on the 20th day of Shvat, we're continuing the Sefer B'Yam Darkecha, and we are on page Ayin Tes. We've been discussing the issue of arrogance. And the first thing we were told about it is we have to reflect on it and to see the falseness of arrogance, because there's nothing to be arrogant about. The second point is that dveikus is the solution to arrogance, because if you feel Hashem is right next to you, you're not going to be arrogant. And now we come to the third and final point of this chapter, which is called tefillah, which is called prayer, and it's very brief. There's no footnotes on it. As in each and every one of these chapters, sections, Mikore Kinyan Anava, what's the primary way to acquire humility? He had tefillah through prayer. Kitzarech, what do you need to do? L'daber Hashem Yisparach ulavakesh menu b'chol eis al tivaoni regel gaiva. Should speak to Hashem and ask from him at every moment. Don't bring me to arrogance. Derech sheker haser mimenu, the pathway of falseness, take it away from me. You should pray in your own words. He's just giving you a sample, but you don't have to do it exactly like this. But you say something like this: Ana avisha b'shmayim, please, my Father in heaven, shamreini midrachim shel sheker, save me from pathways of falseness. V'zakeni she'akadesh kol maseh likvodecha, and give me merit that I can sanctify all my actions for your honor. V'zakeni lihidavik b'cha b'leiv emes, and give me merit to cling to you truly with my whole heart. Hatzileni me'agai v'arura, save me from the accursed arrogance. Hatzlicheni b'minas anava, and give me success in the meat of anava. However words you want to say this. But more than this, you have to cry for this before Hashem. Shuv v'shuv, again and again, b'kol koicha, with all your efforts. You got to really feel and understand. Shagaiva hi kamo gazlan. Gaiva is like a criminal thief. Why? The guy wants to steal everything you have. The real truth is, because arrogance breaks up and blemishes all your avoda. Meaning to say, you do a mitzvah. You've done a mitzvah, and Hashem is really happy with your mitzvah, and you accrue certain schar for that, certain benefit. But once you become arrogant for it, you lose it all. All the effort, time, effort, money that you spent on a mitzvah, if you finish off with a shtickle arrogance, out, it's gone. So that's what he means by the thief. And the more you can feel how great is the evil of arrogance, so you can pray with your whole heart more and more. And you'll certainly see divine assistance when you ask in that way. Hashem does not withhold good for those who go in wholesomeness. So that is the end of chapter 1. That's the third part. Like in all the parts, you have to pray extensively in this. Now we go to the second chapter of these two. Because again, I told you it's a short section, this. We could probably finish it today or tomorrow for sure. Could be even today. Second section. Oh, 1 second.
Have we lost Rabbi? Anybody is hearing, or it's only me? I also don't see the right one.
Okay, I'm back.
You back?
I'm back. Just
Thank you,
died.
Rabbi.
Over here was my connection. Me and Rick are here. It just died. Okay, I don't know if we're sharing. We have to go back and share the screen. It happens from time to time. The thing just says bye-bye. So we have to go back to page pay. Okay, here we are. Okay, we're on second parak again. Second chapter on Gaiva. And this is an important point now. Kavod de Kedusha. The second chapter is called honor in a holy way. Holy honor. Okay, and this becomes the question. If you're telling me not to be arrogant, how am I going to have self-esteem? Self-esteem is important.
Yeah, that's my question.
So what's going to be with the self-esteem? How can you ever feel good about yourself if you don't have self-esteem? So we're going to see there is a covet that's a false covet and a covet of holiness. And that is what the second chapter, the subsection says, Aleph, under covet de Kedusha davar nitzrach. Holy covet is something that is necessary. Anam tzarich ladas, you need to know, man, shanefesh nikras kavod. Your soul has another name. It is called kavod. We have it in Tehillim. David says, "Laman yizamercha chavod." So that is that it can I can sing that my kavod can sing. Who's the kavod? My soul. So another code word for kavod is the soul. Kikol Yehudi yeshlo shlichus m'Hashem Yisrael, because every Jew has a mission from Hashem. Shehu v'raku yachal livon, that only he can accomplish. Therefore, soul needs real honor, kavod to kedusha, holy honor. Now, v'hasimin shall kavod to kedusha. How do we know that a person has holy kedusha? Is when she'adam lo miska al yodo al chavero. He doesn't become arrogant through his friend at his friend's expense. Lachshav sheyosem, to think he's better than them. Ela kavod rak gorim lo lismech b'chalko. But the kavod should cause to be happy with his lot. In other words, you are something that only you can be, and you can't be anybody else, and nobody else can be you. And that's your kavod. For omak inyanuhu, what's the deeper concept over here? Shalom samech ba'or Hashem yisparach. Person should be happy with the light of Hashem that reveals his pathway, but he shouldn't attribute it to himself. That's where the joy should be. Let's see, kuf yadal at the bottom. And to the degree the person is on a right level, he's more focused. The higher his level is more focused to rejoice with that light that is revealed through him. A simpler person is happy just with the light that is revealed. Or if the light just reveals his pathway. The main thing he should recognize is that this is not his light. It will not bring you to a Brad Gaiva. To think he's better than others. He should recognize this is all a gift from Hashem. So therefore, what comes out? Back upstairs. So it comes out. On the one hand, person does recognize he has a value and a greatness and a success. The samech was that he's happy with it. But he doesn't make himself feel important. He knows this is all the light of Hashem. In other words, you're happy that you're able to reveal that light that Hashem wants to be revealed through you, but it's not that you are the one who's the source of that. Well, it's very important. A person should encourage his fellow Jew b'divrei shevach amitim, with true praises. Ki zeh mechazek es hanefesh. It will strengthen people's souls. In other words, where does praise come into play? If we're saying covet on the one hand is a bad thing, so if I'm giving people covet, wouldn't that be a bad thing? So you have to know what's the real covet and what's the phony covet. And this is so important. You have to be very careful. But don't let those words come in arrogance. Like I am the one who does it. Remember to recognize that it's all from Hashem. If somebody falls into arrogance, he thinks he's doing it. Even if you enjoy that a little bit, that honor that you think you're doing it, it will not last. It won't keep its place. He says sheker because it's false. Hold on, let me just a little more. Whereas if you think you're doing it, forget it. It's not going to be able to retain it. That's false. That's a lie. Remember, sheker never stands. But when a person does things, she remembers and feels. Hashem is Baruch Hu awesome, and he's the true doer. And person's only a messenger. As I said, Meir Mesamach that illuminates and truly gives joy. You also have charm and pleasure from that. Let's do the footnote, then I'll take your question. Kuf Yud Beis. This is the true honor. The honor that is completely only the revelation of Hashem's light. And the one who receives the kavod, and in the brackets, and also initially the one who gives the kavod, Yizkor Kol Hasman should remember at all times, Shezeh Or Hashem, so it's Hashem's light. The person is nothing, Elishu Klilor, he's a utensil for the light. The whole honor is for Hashem, the honorable king. Sha'ora Miskalakan, that his light was revealed here. V'zel kavod chachamim. This is the honor that chachamim deal with, which is the kavod of kedusha, the holy kedusha. U'b'oven gezeh hanav v'nachon. And in such a place, humility is appropriate. V'asimin shel hanav amiti. See, where do you see true humility? Sharm lo margish mimeno katnus. A person doesn't feel he's any smaller with humility. U'kahilu hu'ena shavakum, that is not worth anything. That's not the right humility. El Adra, Margish Tamid, Simcha Gedoyla. But you're always feeling great joy. Kiba Nova Amitis, with true humility. Meir Lenefesh or Amiti. The true light illuminates, which is the Or of Hashem Yisbarach. Okay, so what's he saying up to this point? He's saying is that you have to realize what is the true kavod. The true kavod is Hashem. So what do I have from this? I have the great pleasure of being the instrument to bring out God's kavod through the fact that through my soul that I'm able to do what Hashem wants me to do. So therefore, the way you should really praise somebody, the worst praise is say, you did a really great job. That's like feeding a guy treif, worse than treif. He says, yeah, I really did a good job. Oh, yeah. I says, yeah, I'm a great guy. That's the worst thing you can do. So what are you supposed to do? People need something. You have to say, you know what? You are the most amazing shliach to bring out the light of Hashem. The talents that Hashem gave you, you did your shlichus as Hashem wanted you to do it. And you should be so proud of the fact that you were able to reveal God's Shekhinah in the thing that you did. That is so different than what we understand. And the person gets his self-esteem by not that he was able to do it, but that he lived up to his potential of being the vehicle to reveal that light of Hashem. It's a major difference. The person says, a bar mitzvah boy, Okay, let's look at that. A bar mitzvah boy. There's so much into the bar mitzvah, the aliyah, the laning, and all these things. And we have to remember, what is the main thing over here? People make a mistake. The main thing is the boy. No, that's not the main thing. The main thing is Hashem. So what are we saying? We're saying now that you're a bar mitzvah boy, you now have the ability and the responsibility to illuminate the light of Hashem. So when the bar mitzvah boy gets called up to the Torah, by saying the words that he says, it's another Jew who says that blessed is God who chose us as his people and gave us a Torah. And you as a human being are recognizing that you now are a kli, you're a vessel to bring out the light of Hashem. And we could say, I'm so proud, and you should feel good that you were able to bring out the light of Hashem. And therefore, he will say, thank you very much, Baruch Hashem, I was zocheh. I merited to be also. Not, wow, you did a great job. Whoa, you worked so hard, and you did a great job. Oh, you're poisoning the kid. And then what if he doesn't do a great job? And let's say, so what's the prayer? You say, listen, you tried your best to bring out the will of Hashem, and sometimes it doesn't come out. But you tried your best. And that's your proud as well. That's the true kavod. The true kavod is knowing that you are the true kli. That's the true kavod. And that's what the soul really wants. The soul wants to be the kli of Hashem. The body, wants to be its own man. So that's the true kavod that you have. And therefore, it's obviously when the Mishnah says, Kol haboreach min hakavod, someone who runs away from honor runs away from him. Because that kind of honor, that's never an honor. But if it's the honor, that's why it says, Ezel mechubad, who's an honorable person, who gives honors to other people. You're recognizing if you honor other people, why am I honoring that guy? I'm 10 times better than him. The answer is I'm honoring him because he's doing his job. And if I can recognize that if he's doing his job, he deserves honor, then the only honor I deserve is for doing my job and not for being something that's totally detached from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Did that answer your question? Or?
Yeah, so I didn't ask the question. It was more of a comment. It's almost, the author is almost redefining our traditional definition of honor, because honor is typically almost a ranking between people.
That's right.
This is more a sense of accomplishment which you need, not necessarily, because as you said, you started, people need honor. They really need a sense of accomplishment. So what this is more of a sense of accomplishment than it is honor, because there's no relative.
Right, because that's right. That's what Rick is saying. For those who couldn't hear it through the mask, I heard it. Honor is not a ranking system. I have more honor. The other guy's got less honor. Honor it's all Hashem's is the honors. Question is, are we attaching ourselves to that honor? Hashem, he's called the Melech HaKavod. He's the king of honor. All honor goes to the king. So what part of the honor do I have? The fact that I'm manifesting the king's presence. And the honor goes to Hashem. And I'm fortunate that I'm the shaliach of that honor. All the honor ends up with Hashem. Oh, I laid amazing at the bar mitzvah. You know what? It's because Hashem wanted to have a good laning in shul. So I had the merit to provide a good laning for Hashem in shul. I brought the word of Hashem to the congregation. And therefore, you don't have to, the false humility, say, it was nothing. I didn't do anything. You did a lot. What are you talking about? You were the vehicle of the light coming out. Without you, the light would not have come out. But it's not your light. It's Hashem's light. So therefore, if you understand that, and that's what the Chazon Ish says, everything we're learning connects. If you remember long ago, we did a whole series on the Chazon Ish. If you remember, some of you did. And the Chazon Ish talks about this idea, if you really want to do a mitzvah, if somebody else gets the opportunity, not you, it doesn't matter. If somebody else gets to the mitzvah, the main thing is, did the light come out? In other words, there's a tendency for people to be jealous of other people. How come he's the one who got to do this mitzvah, not me? The answer is, did the mitzvah get done properly? Yes. Was Hashem's light revealed? Yes. Did it have to be you? No. Hashem will give you your opportunity. So you never be jealous with other people's spiritual successes or any successes in life, because it's not meant for you. It's all meant for Hashem's honor. We don't get any honor per se. We're not the final destination of the honor. We're just the conduit for Hashem's honor. At the end of the day, it's all Hashem. Oh, Hashem, you're amazing. Hashem, you're this. Baruch Hashem, we had Rick who was able to show us God's tremendous power and whatever came through what Rick did. But Rick feels, I didn't do it. I didn't do anything. It was just a tool, the vehicle for Hashem to get the honor. That's all you want at the end of the day. At the end of the day, it's all Kiddush Hashem. It's not about myself. But look at the self-esteem you get for being the person that's making that happen. That's the point over there. Okay, so this is called the holy Kedusha is something that we need. And therefore, that leads us into Beis. Lo lachshov me'anoshim, don't consider other people. Lizoyer machitzonius, and be careful from superficialities. What does that mean? Yeah. Oh, nakuda chashuv. Another important point. What? You got to train yourself. You got to get used to the fact. Don't really worry so much about what other people are thinking. Now, I don't mean to do a chilul Hashem. I don't mean that you have to worry about. But what I mean, don't worry. Look for their approval per se. Don't think, what are they going to say about me? What are they going to think about me? You have to think when you're doing a certain avoda that there's nobody else in the world. Just you and Hashem. Your whole service will be done differently. Let's see what he says on footnote Kuf Yud Gimel, which is a big one. He says, you got to think, what do I get from other people? What do I get in Ploni Yarich? If somebody values me or not, what do I get from that? How does that help me? Nothing. I get a compliment for something, so. I get criticism for somebody, so. And again, we're not talking about you do the chilul Hashem. That you have to always be worried not to create a chilul. God takes away the light. But do you really need someone to say, wow, you were great? What does that do for me? Uberfrat, especially, at the end of the day, Olam HaSheker is that. This false world whose mind is just temporal. Olam HaEmes, in the true world, when you're in the real world, what other people are saying is useless in the other world. They don't play that in the next world. But if holy covenant is important, and if that strengthens him, it gives him extra spiritual strength. But don't stick your head into this. Don't worry if you get it. It's not that guy's giving me encouragement, but if Hashem sends you the chizuk, then be encouraged. Let's say you're feeling depression and despair. So you should try to take encouragement from your service. People praise you. To remember that the praise is really for Hashem who illuminates the way. But you want to feel good about yourself, feel how good you're illuminating Hashem. But don't worry what people are saying about you. You only want to worry about what people are saying about Hashem. That's what's bothering you. What are people going to think of Hashem after I finish this? Not what are people going to think about me. Right? So if you're doing something that's the Ratzon Hashem, it really is the Ratzon Hashem, and other people are going to think, people are going to think you're crazy. That doesn't matter. As long as you're not doing a chilul Hashem, that's not important. And you did it, now you're expecting a thank you. You're expecting a praise. You know what? You shouldn't be expecting a praise. You're doing it even if nobody's in the world. You know, it's the world. You light up the world even though nobody else is there either. To be a utensil of Hashem does not require other people at all. And you don't need other people's recognition. It's so important not to need recognition. Now, of course, people are people, so they might need a little recognition. But if they do, don't give them the phony recognition. Just say, okay, you illuminate Hashem. On that. Sometimes you fall. You want to get a little chizuk. Okay, but it's got to be a true chizuk and not a false chizuk. Yeah?
Does that also relate things that aren't mitzvahs? It's easy to understand what is a mitzvah. But if you worked on something and you ran the marathon, whatever, you ran the marathon. And it's a real accomplishment.
It's interesting you picked that example. Go ahead.
Well, so you can attribute it. You don't want.
Let's put it this way: you're running a marathon. The worst thing to do is expect someone to congratulate you on it. Okay. Because in no way did that enhance your avodas Hashem.
No, it's not an avodah Hashem thing. What happens if you lose 10 pounds? You really needed to lose weight, okay? So it's not, it's...
So again, why did you want to lose the weight? You have to always have to, I'm not saying that's not something to do, but you always say, why are we doing certain things in life? Yeah. Are we doing them to illuminate God or not? So you say, I got to lose weight because there's a mitzvah from the Torah to be healthy. And I'm overweight, and the doctor said, if you don't lose some weight, you're going to get sick. Oh, so now I'm doing a mitzvah. And when I do the mitzvah, I'm illuminating Hashem with my sveltness. Okay, and someone has just sent me a little chat note. It has to be lishma. It has to be sincere. Again, running a marathon, there's some people who never ask shilas about this, and I wish they would. And you have to know all the time and energy you spend. Now, for certain people, let's say a person has a big Yetzer Hara who do all kinds of averos, and if he's busy running a marathon, I would say run a marathon. Instead of you doing averos, which are negative, run a marathon, which is neutral. Or maybe sometimes the person needs to pick up his ego in a low lishma way, so maybe one day it'll be lishma. I'm not talking people who who are going to get into a depression, but people are learning this safer. You're looking for much loftier things to do with your time, right? So yeah, you have to lose weight. The doctor said, wait, okay, I'm doing the mitzvah of being healthy, and and if a person would say, you know what, I see you did the mitzvah really well, and you now are showing that you are illuminated Hashem with this losing of weight, amazing, and it's all for Hashem's credit. But when a person runs the marathon, they are not thinking for 1 minute to glorify Hashem with it. No. Hashem gets no glory if Jews win Olympics. Hashem gets a glory if you're mavater on somebody. We should have a different Olympics. The Olympic, who is the biggest Baal Chesed Olympics? Who is the biggest Talmud Chacham Olympics? Who is the best Midos Olympics? We'll give you to go through a big, difficult challenge and to not get angry Olympics. So people, unfortunately, have a false sense of kavod. Again, we're going by what you mentioned before, different levels, differentiate. Yeah, you came in first in the marathon. You came in 20th. You came in 50th. You finished. You didn't finish. These are all false things. I'm not saying categorically there's no place for it in Yiddishkeit, but you don't see any big rabbis doing this or big rebbitzins doing this. They don't. There's a reason why. I'm not saying there might be a time to encourage certain people to do it if they really have a bad sense of self and they're not going to get it from Kedusha. And you're afraid they're going to totally go off the derech or commit suicide. Well, you're going to do what you can to help them out. But this is generally, then they're not learning this safer. They're not learning this safer at all. So we can't worry about what other people are thinking. I'm not doing, and this is always a problem. If you're really doing a mitzvah, who do you care should give you your approval? Hashem. Or those people who understand what Hashem wants. That's what you're looking for approval. Many times, this is how the Yetzer Hara gets us. We do a whole big mitzvah, and we're expecting the recipient to really recognize us. So Hashem's going to test you. Going to test you. You're not going to get recognized. Now, do you want it or not? Now, if you really are a Baal Gaiva, you're going to say, where's the recognition? And that's how the Satan gets you to lose the whole mitzvah. Because what's going to happen? I wanted to get some covered out. I wanted to do it, but I want to get a little covered out. I didn't get no covered at all. What a waste of time. I could have picked another guy who would have thanked me for it. Hashem says, okay, you lost it all. You see? But if you, I don't care about it. I only want one thing. Hashem, are you happy with me? Are you happy? You're telling me I did a good job? That's all I want to know. And you know what? I'll do it again, even if I know the person is going to stab me in the back right afterwards. It's my pleasure to do it. Because Hashem, I know you're the one who's giving me this. Okay, we got to stop at this point. Good discussion points over here. And we will continue tomorrow. Almost finished the chapter. We'll probably finish the chapter by tomorrow. Then move on to Dveikus. Okay, shkoyach, everybody.
Thank you.
Okay, stop the recording.